Hello there, thank you so much for stopping by. My name is ChitChad and welcome back to another episode of Planet Coaster, where we are working on the studio theme park. I know it's been a while since I have done the studio park build, so I'm glad to be jumping back into it. And this footage is the footage that you were about to see is from a time long ago, before the vintage DLC. And the only reason I bring that up is because I had a couple people message me that it would be really cool to utilize the letters, the light up letters from the vintage DLC pack for the theater. And that is a great idea, and I'm totally going to do it. And in fact, I did do it. We just got a bit of catching up to do as far as releasing these episodes. So I'm going to be releasing a couple of episodes of the studio park in rapid succession. Being that they will probably take over the normal upload schedule. So you might see more of these than usual, just so we can get caught back up to where I am currently in the game. We have a lot to build today. We have multiple buildings. We have some shops that we are going to set up. Not work on the interior, but kind of just get the idea of them kind of set up. And we're also going to be working on a roller coaster. Surprise, surprise, in a game called Planet Coaster, I'm going to make a coaster. It's kind of fun. I know that I've been working on very video game heavy things, but this coaster that we're working on is going to be it's inspired definitely by the coaster that's over at Universal Studios Florida called the Rip Ride Rocket, and I've gushed about this ride in particular before. It's an awesome ride. I love it to death. So this coaster is going to be kind of based off that, but it's also based off of a game that I played growing up that I absolutely loved. I adored it to death. I played it on the Dreamcast over and over and over and over again, and that is Crazy Taxi. So it's going to be kind of based off of this idea of like a taxi just gone wild. And I know that probably sounds very similar to the New York coaster over in Las Vegas, but I despise that coaster and I will never ride it again. So no, it's not based off that at all. And if it is, I'm going to try and make a bit of a better version. I'm going to try my best. My experience on the New York coaster was not a pleasant one. I remember my dad took me to Vegas. We went to a couple shows. We went to the David Copperfield thing. We went to the Blue Man Group. And then what was the other thing we did? We wanted to go see Ka, which was the Circus du Soleil, the martial arts kind of driven one that looked really cool. It was new at the time, but the tickets were astronomically expensive. But one of the other things that we did, I don't remember if we did this. Yes, we did. We actually did the Star Trek thing back when that was still around. And I thought that was actually pretty stinking cool. I'm not even like a huge Star Trek fan. Like I like the series, but I'm like, I wouldn't know a lot of the history of like characters and stuff like that. I like them. But like the experience that was in Vegas was really stinking cool. And it's kind of a bummer it's not around anymore. So we did that, but we also got 2 tickets, so 2 rides for the New York coaster, and both of us got beaten and battered so much that we passed our tickets off to someone else, and that should explain how much I dislike that ride. It's cool looking, and I wonder if it's gotten better since the last time I rode it, or if it's still just the head bashing jerky ride that I remember. So maybe I'm being too harsh. Maybe it's gotten better. Who knows? I'm not willing to try. I'm not willing to try it. You know what? Maybe I'd be willing to try it again. I don't know. I'm wasting time here. So you notice that I ran a couple of coasters right by each other, and that was genuinely just to see which one I liked the most. I picked 3 that were similar in style, and I wanted to see exactly what I could do with them as far as the chain lift immediately. If you've ever seen the Rip Ride Rocket, it goes 90 degrees as soon as it hits the chain lift, and I didn't want to do that specifically. I just wanted to have a really dramatic chain lift up, just because I think it's kind of fun and it's interesting. And I think this was like iteration number 4 for this coaster. I went through a lot of different ideas for the track layout, and I cut all of that out of the video because this like 25-minute video would probably be an hour long if you saw how many times I messed with this track layout. So I'm gonna save you all the trouble and just show you what kind of works. And even still, this layout gets adjusted between now and the next episode. And eventually I do settle on something, and I'm pretty happy with it. You'll see, again, I'm just going to adjust it and try and like tighten it up just a little bit so it's faster and I get those ratings up a little bit higher. I'm never too concerned with the ratings in Planet Coaster. But for this one, I wanted it to at least, I wanted to test to see if I could at least get it to be somewhat decent, because a lot of the ride experiences that I want to work on primarily on this channel are like dark rides and themed experiences, and not so much like the dynamic high-speed coasters, even though I really like doing that stuff. But I'm more concerned with, thematic stuff. But still, I just wanted to I wanted to try to see if I could, make a decent coaster. And I'm happy with it. It was fun, I do remember one part in the Rip Ride Rocket that I thought was kind of cool, because at some point it feels like the coaster actually goes outside of like the walls of Universal Studios, and then it curves right back in. And we were talking about Blue Man Group a little while ago, but there's also like I think it's a permanent Blue Man Group there too, and because you kind of go by it when you come back around heading towards the coaster station. So yeah, there we go. Story came full circle, somewhat, I guess. Maybe narrative structure. I don't know. It's late at night. I'm recording this late. I'm tired. I gotta go to bed soon, and then get up and do the whole shebang all over again. The life of an adult. It's not glamorous, but hey, it pays the bills. Anyways, we're gonna be doing some theming with this coaster, and I'm still not 100% set on the crazy taxi kind of theme of it. I just knew I wanted a really fun coaster to go with like the metropolitan kind of city look that we had going for this area of the park. As we branch further and further away, things will become much more themed to the different types of stuff that I want to do in this park. Like I already said, eventually we'll have an Angel Grove area where there'll be Power Ranger stuff. I do want an animation area because I've talked about doing an Over the Garden Wall ride for a while, and I've actually found a couple people who want to collaborate on that project, friends of mine, and that's like we've talked to one of my friends, it was actually one of my coworkers, and we were talking about potentially like doing recordings of some of the music, like we would like do covers of them, of the songs, and that has me pumped for it. And then I was talking to another friend that we wanted to build a project together, and it's going to be a gaming themed project. I don't want to talk too much about it, but I'm hoping that it happens soon because it'd be a lot of fun. But Angel Grove, I'm losing my voice. Gosh darn it. It's because I was singing all the way home, because I'm a crazy person and I have like an hour drive home. So I often sing in the car. And sometimes, when those really cheesy 90s rock music comes on, I just got to belt it. Or 80s. 80s is good too. Actually, I was listening to the Transformers soundtrack on the way home today. And I'm not like the Michael Bay movies. We're talking way back, like the original Transformers animated 2D movie, and listen to some Stan Bush on the way home and just belting it, because it helps you get through that long commute. And I am talking about problems that y'all probably don't care about. This is not exciting radio talk. This is not exciting dialogue to be given. So I apologize. A little crazy today. A little sleep deprived. What can I say? Yeah, so you'll notice working on a building now. This was originally just trying to test the idea. I did can't even get my words out right. I did want to have a building which will end up being the Q building, but I was thinking at some point it'd be cool if the coaster actually went through a building. But we are going to utilize that idea a little bit later. We'll still have that kind of experience, but I'll tie it in with the Q building, because I thought it would be really interesting if you actually saw the coaster kind of interact almost with the line, like you're standing in line, and I want multiple points where you can see the coaster, and it almost becomes an experience. There's nothing cooler than like standing in line, and nothing's cooler than standing in line. Am I right, guys? No, standing in line's the worst. But one of the cool aspects of standing in the line is seeing the coaster and like just being like, yeah, and like 5 minutes to 2 hours, I'm gonna be on that thing. It's gonna be great. It's not great right now. My feet hurt. It's been a long day. It's hot out. I'm using up my fast passes already, and I'm actually, whoa, look at that. I'm already over my time for my other fast pass. Ain't that just a kick in the butt? But I'm here in this line, and I'm not leaving it until I get on that ride. I'm projecting my problems. Again, I am so sorry. I'm joking. It's all for fun. Anyways, yeah. So this is where we start building what's going to be like a major shopping. I don't want to call it a center, but just like a shop. It's just going to be a big shop that's connected by 3 buildings. And I know I'm copying and pasting a lot of buildings over and over again, but eventually we are going to add like signs and custom stuff to all of these facades, and really make them kind of come to life and come into their own, and just be be interesting to look at and not look like a copy and paste kind of situation. So you're gonna notice I'm using terrain to try and build up the support system, and that's because, again, this was before that update, before the vintage DLC, so I didn't have those amazing freaking track supports that they added to the game. Thank goodness we have them, but I didn't have them when I recorded this. I'm gonna go back at some point and add those, because wish I had them to begin with. Yeah, this was frustrating. I can't tell you how frustrating it is. It doesn't look that frustrating because it's sped up so fast, but trust me when I say I was going a little crazy trying to get that to look right. But I think it looks cool. Again, it would have been easier if I just had the track supports, but you can't complain when you got it. Just the timing, man, the timing. Anyways, so yeah, I didn't want to spend too much time on this episode working on the interior, so this is going to be pretty blank. It's just kind of setting up the groundwork for things to come, because I really wanted to focus on building out the coaster on this episode, and then we're going to work on the surrounding areas in the next one, which I'm looking forward to because it's a lot of fun. Like I said, I love the theming stuff. That's the stuff that I'm just like, yeah, I want to do that. So yeah, we're gonna have a fun time. We're gonna have a fun time with that. And I really wanted this coaster to feel a part of the environment. You know, I really wanted it to interact with multiple buildings. So I'm really happy with how this turns out. And I can't wait for y'all to see the end product, which won't be in this episode, unfortunately, but soon it will be. And that actually leads me to a thought that I had, because one of the things I love doing on this channel and in this community in general is to support creativity. Well, positivity and creativity, all the activities, but creativity would be a lot of fun. And I was thinking about ways to like maybe having like a custom like poster contest or something like that, because I would really think it'd be fun to like incorporate artwork into these buildings, you know, like posters and signs. And I just think it'd be really fun to incorporate, you know, the community the small community that I've got here. It's a small, awesome community that I've got. So if that idea sounds cool to you, it's just something I'm spitballing just right off the top of my head as I'm recording this. I might put some info in the Discord. That's right, I do have a Discord. We've got a lot of awesome people on there. I have a link to it down in the description below. But maybe that would be a fun thing to do to, you know, get people involved in this build, because this is, you know, the Chatterbox studio, so it's not about me, it's about the community. So it'd be fun to have the community be a part of this. So if there's any other ideas y'all can think of beyond like creating whole custom areas based off of like what people ask, because that'd be a lot of work. But I'm thinking like ways that multiple people can be involved at the same time. I just think that'd be really fun, and I think utilizing the screens and having some kind of art and sign contest of some sort, not even a contest, but just like a submission, you know, of art and creative things, and then I can find ways to incorporate them. I don't know, just something I'm thinking off the top of my head. Like I said, if that sounds interesting to you, let me know down in the comments below or on the Discord. Either way, I would appreciate it, and I think it would be fun. So we are now working on the line that we were talking about, you know, the oh so fun line. And you gotta think, man, there are some lines that actually are worth waiting in. And right off the top of my head, I can think of a couple. The Space Mountain queue and Magic Kingdom, Florida, way better than the one in California. I actually heard in California they opened up a new area, like an indoor area for the queue, the line to go through. And I think it was like the above ground part of like the Starcade, because they moved that X-Wing that used to be in there over to the Star Wars shop, which is so funny because when I was at Disneyland last, like we had been in that shop over and over and over again because we had gone on Star Tours and didn't notice the X-Wing at all, because you just like, you don't expect something to be there when in your mind you've grown up knowing that it's somewhere else, but then it's suddenly when it's just like, oh, it's right freaking there. Okay, it caught me off guard, like, because it's a freaking X-Wing. I'm like, how did I miss that? So I don't know. I thought that was actually kind of fun and interesting. Yeah, the one in Magic Kingdom, because I think if I remember correctly, they had like interactive little like games you could play while you waited in line. It's been a long time since I've been in Magic Kingdom or just in Florida in general. The Harry Potter Forbidden Journey ride, epic freaking line, so good. Let's see, what else has a really good queue? The Mummy ride isn't half bad. It only has like one really fun part at the beginning. The Indiana Jones line is pretty great. I don't understand why, and I'm sure it's like the amount of people that could be in the building at once or just to help the line flow, but I don't know why they hold people up for so long outside when like the inside of the temple has so much room. Like you just breeze past most of the stuff, like all of the stuff that used to be super interactive, like the stones that have the eyes on them. I think the bamboo pole still works for the lowering of the ceiling. It worked last time I went. And then there was like the guy in the middle of the room who was like excavating, and you could like pull on the cord and you'd be like, hey, stop it, I'm down here. So yeah, there's a couple lines that are pretty great. And it just makes you wish that like all lines were like that. But now, I don't know, like, so now you can see in the building that I was talking about for the queue, we now have that segment where the ride goes through underneath the loading station, which again, I thought was really fun. So we add multiple windows so you can actually see that. And we're going to kind of make that look like a city, like a little street. So when you go in there, it's going to be like a little mini dark ride segment that lasts all of like half a second, but I'll still think it'll be kind of fun to do. You'll see there's going to be some theming elements soon, not in this episode, but soon, that I really like, and kind of harken back to what I originally was basing this ride off of, which was the Rip Ride Rocket. Again, I love it. I love that ride. So good. All right, so I'm going to answer some questions on the Discord, which is something I do on almost every episode of Planet Coaster, because I start to run out of things to talk about in a 15 to 20 minute episode, man. I may be called ChitChad, but sometimes I run out of things to say. So let me look through some of these questions here. A lot of them are about the Mario Park, so I'm going to try and answer ones that are specifically or can be answered on this park. So, all right, here we go. The Spot asks, hi, ChitChad. In your studio park, have you ever thought about adding DC, Marvel, Jurassic Park, or a Star Wars section? I don't know if I want to add DC, Marvel, Jurassic Park, or Star Wars, just because those are already things. Like, DC already has a presence in a couple of parks. Marvel definitely is going to have a presence at Disney parks. And I know I'm working on the Mario Park right now, which is going to be, there is going to be a Mario theme park at Universal Studios, but it's not real yet, so I still got time. Not to say that I don't absolutely love those franchises. Like, I'm obsessed with Star Wars. I love Marvel and I love DC. I don't love DC so much lately, but I like DC. I like most of DC. I'm happy that Young Justice is coming back. I don't know if I want to get a subscription service to watch Young Justice, but I'm glad it's coming back. So I don't know if I want to do anything like that. I kind of want to do things that haven't been turned into attractions yet, just so I can go, like crazy. It might be fun to do like little mini projects, even if stuff has already been created, like Star Wars, like Marvel, like DC. But right now, I don't know if that's something I'm probably going to do for this park, but I genuinely appreciate your question. Thank you so much. Really appreciate it. And let's see if there is another one that I can answer. Bimper 22? I think that's right. Anyways, ChitChad, what is your favorite aspect or item in Planet Coaster? P.S. Mine is the TV screen. Yeah, TV screen's pretty great, man. I think that would probably be mine too, just because that's what allowed me to incorporate art and animation into this park or into any project in general. And just the ability to do that it opens up so many doors. For creativity and for, creating themed experiences. And it's funny that we were talking about this because one of the groups that I'm in, someone posted their recreation or they're not done with it yet, but they're recreating the Haunted Mansion. Oh my gosh, it's so good. It is so stinking good. The way that they utilize screens in particular for things that would be really difficult to recreate, like the dancing ghosts, like the clock with the hand that goes over it, the shadow, like the floating head, like all those were done utilizing screens, and like that stuff would be so much more difficult to do without that. So I just, it just creates so much more depth to this game and to be able to do that. Because yeah, it's going to be fun to incorporate more screens and animations into these parks, and without the screens I couldn't do it. So I'm gonna have to agree, screens are the best, hands down the best. But that's just my opinion. If you've got a favorite aspect of Planet Coaster, if there's something that is like a true highlight for you, feel free to leave it in the comments down below, or talk about it on the Discord. I've got plenty of channels for Planet Coaster, or if you're interested in art and animation, I've got channels for that too, because I love talking about that stuff. And I'm really excited for the future projects that we're going to do in this park, especially, like I said, the animation section, which I got other ideas cooking in the brain. Don't know what they're going to be yet for sure. Well, except for one I know for sure, but yeah, it's gonna be fun on a bun. So we are actually getting close to the end of this video. I know, so sad, we have to part ways. Goodbye, farewell, I'll see you next time. Anyways, so yeah, we're coming to the end of this video, and the next one's gonna be fun. Like I said, we're gonna continue working on the theming of this ride, and then we will do kind of like we'll do like a couple of looks in the next episode. So I will show off some of the stuff in real time, and we'll probably even ride the coaster in the next episode. So look out for that, and thank you all so much for watching. I genuinely appreciate it. I know it was a little blabby in this episode. Apologize for that. Maybe I'll be more awake in the next episode. But anyways, thank you all so much for watching. I really appreciate it. And as always, I will chat with you on the next video.